Okay, campers, it is June 30th, 2011. It's about 7:40 in the morning. Yes, the early bird does get the worm. And today's topic is going to be about Scientology abuses. How did you guess? Alright, so here's the deal. I want to recap from yesterday because we protested nearly 12 hours yesterday. We took breaks. But I think we got here just a little before 10 in the morning, and we got out of here right around 9:30-ish, 9:45-ish in the evening. So right about 12 hours straight. And for me, the high point, besides meeting Mark Headley, come on, that actually was the high point, was understanding that the DC police explained to Scientology in no uncertain terms that phone calling them about our protest was not going to do any good. Apparently there's been a discussion that came down from on high, and as I understand it, the chief of police has instructed them to make no arrests of Scientology protesters outside the building. And I can only assume that means, unless obviously we're doing something grotesquely wrong. And the police showed up. I could see Scientology furiously making phone calls. Yes, the guy behind the desk, there's 4 or 5 people on their cell phones when I had the bullhorn. And the police officer showed up and he walked away, and I turned the bullhorn back to the org and said, essentially, it's not going to work. That was a total waste of your time. And I could see this guy gritting his teeth behind the desk, and he immediately picks up the phone and calls again. And I see another person standing immediately next to him jump on their cell phone. And I am not making a joke when I say I actually saw people running around in the building, looking out of windows. This is a situation where in DC we have a right, just like anyone else, to protest with the same tools anyone else has, and yet Scientology just doesn't quite seem to get it. So they have had the law more or less laid down for them as to what the police will not do. So let's see what happens today. David Miscavige is the why. Make sure to thank him for another long, full day of protesting at the DC org. That's good. Welcome to day 2. Ooh, we got some PTS automobile here. Real Scientologists are not afraid to hug their body thetans. Are you guys ready for another full day of protesting? We're ready to do another 12 hours. How about you? Another full day of protest brought to you by David Miscavige for being the most suppressive person on the planet. Is it true that David Miscavige has sausage fingers? Make sure to thank David Miscavige for day 2 of what's to be a long series of protests. Very long protests, 12 hours a day, possibly for weeks on end. Yay, David Miscavige!
I wish the doors were open so I could yell inside anti-Scientology slogans like, free Shelley Miscavige, free Divergence! The daughter or son, break up that family to keep Scientology working. Thank you, Scientology.
Are you hearing what Sparrow's talking about? He's talking about family disconnection.
For work in the morning to keep Scientology working, like disconnected families and forced abortions at Golden Era Productions. Hooray!
Where the best way to demonstrate is to take their pictures.
Actually, that's their favorite thing, is to come out and stick cameras in our face. They try to run us off.
Where did I read that? It was amazing.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard wrote in a past life, he handled reporters that were critical of Scientology. They caved in and collapsed when he stuck a camera in their face.
You have to go back.
Yeah.
So I read it backwards.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't do well on reading comprehension.
That's all right.
All right, God. I don't think we're going to ever stop them, though.
I got to tell you, they are in bad shape. They are collapsing. High-level defectors are leaving. They're talking about beatings that go on at the highest levels. A number of their members, high-level members, have been arrested. A woman by the name of Jan Eastgate was just arrested for covering up child sex abuse. She was coaching parents and children on how to lie to the police. They're physically coming out and attacking people now. They've had 7 public in here today in a $13 million building, and 7 paying members have come in. They have a staff of 40 people, 50 people. They're bleeding to death financially. Good morning, Scientology. This is just a reminder. You need to cease the human rights abuses. Please stop protecting child sex abusers like Jan Eastgate, one of your high-ranking members who received the Freedom Medal from David Miscavige himself. She has been arrested for covering up child sex abuse and coaching a mother and daughter on how to lie to the police. We are still waiting for answers on how Lisa McPherson had cockroach bites on her hands and feet in the autopsy report. No Scientologist seems to be able to answer that. Why did DC Scientologist John Boucher commit suicide? And in his suicide note, it said you convinced him he was mentally suppressing trees and houses. You really screwed that man up, Scientology. Make sure to Google ex-Scientology kids. There is a website of ex-children of Scientology talking about the grotesque human rights abuses they suffered at the hand of your cult, including disconnection, forced labor at the age of 6 for 8 hours a day, beatings in your organization. Make sure to Google OT8 Wally Hanks. There's an audio recording of this high-level Scientologist beating a small child and telling him to look at pictures of L. Ron Hubbard and taking strength. Child abuse is not okay, Scientology. Abuse of women in your Sea Org, where you force them to have abortions so that you can continue having them work for $50 a week under religious exemption. It is a woman's right to choose, not Scientology's. Have you hugged your body thetans today? Real Scientologists hug their body thetans. Yes, if you are on course, make sure to ask, what are body thetans? You will find out that after you spend $100,000 in 10 years in Scientology, you are covered in dead space aliens from 75 million years ago. Yes, Scientology will lie to you about this because L. Ron Hubbard is on audio and in writing saying you will die of pneumonia if you find out beforehand. It is not too late to distance yourself from this dangerous org. You are free to leave. This is the United States. You cannot be held by Scientology. If you need help leaving, dial 866-XC-ORG. They help Scientologists leave. You will not be abandoned. Somebody will help you get a job. Somebody will help you find a house or a roof over your head. You will not be left on your own. You do not have to be forced to have abortions if you're in the Sea Org. Yes, many ex-Sea Org members are talking about horrific conditions that they were put through, being forced to eat rice and beans in the RPF. Google RPF, Rehabilitation Project Force, Scientology slave labor camps with inward-facing spikes. All right, so Scientology probably thinks we're going to be here all day again because that's what I told them. But I'm heading home. And counted about 20 people, 21 people. That's about half of what they had a week ago. And let's see what it looks like in another week.